Orchestrate a standing ovation. I'm going to remember that. Well, Susan, thank you so much. You truly have a tremendous person as your county chair here. Give her a hand. Put on my House Minority Leader hat for just a second. I am so excited about Teresa Briggs. We desperately need to have somebody of her caliber come join us in the legislature. So please do all that you can to help out Teresa. She'd be a great state representative. Thank you. Speaking of great state representatives, I'm very honored to have the support of Jim Lowder. And many of you know Jim Lowder. Yes. Jim did a great job of serving this community for many years, and I'm very proud to have his support and proud to have the support of over 100 current and former Republican officials, an unprecedented event in Kansas politics, and it really shows you what is at stake in this election. So thank you so much, Jim, and all of the others who have stood up to support this campaign. I served with Jean Showroth, and I know what a terrific person she is. When she was a Republican, she worked across the aisle, and she's going to do the very same thing as a Democrat. And all of you know we need a new Secretary of State, so please get out. My family is with me here today, and my wife Stephanie and daughter Caroline. Caroline is 4.5, and she has become a very seasoned campaigner. I picked her up the other day at her preschool, and she said to me, she says, "Dad, Sarah is one of her teachers, she said, Sarah is a Republican, but she's going to vote for you." So, 4.5 and already understands bipartisanship. My wife Stephanie is a psychologist, and she has devoted her career to working with homeless veterans. She's in a much more noble profession than I am, but as I have said time and time over again, when you serve in the legislature, it is very good to have a mental health professional at home. Thank you, Stephanie. Well, it is a delight to be here tonight, and we've been in Emporia a number of times during the campaign, and we will be back many more times during the campaign. And I am so impressed with what a great organization that you have here. And I know that you're all here tonight for a variety of reasons, but I think the reason that unites probably everyone in the room is that you are a Kansan. You are concerned about the direction that our state is going right now. And that's exactly why I'm here. And I enjoy any opportunity that I can get to be in a room full of Kansans, especially a room as full as this one. People who are very concerned about where we're going as a state. And because you're concerned, I know that you are smart, intelligent, capable, thoughtful people. And because of that, I want to begin with just a little quiz for you. And I know you didn't come here tonight expecting that you were going to get a quiz, but I promise you that it's not a very difficult one. Okay, we're going to call it Guess That State. So, in state number 1, you have a governor that loves to tout his historic, revolutionary tax cuts. He says that he has the best tax plan in America. Well, in state number 2, property taxes have been soaring since that governor took office. Sales tax recently went up after that governor pushed through a $777 million tax increase about a year ago. College tuition is up all across the state. And utility rates just continue to go up year after year after year. Well, maybe there are a couple of you who are wondering, well, I wonder what 2 states he's talking about. But once again, you're smart, you're intelligent, you're caring, you're compassionate Kansans. And so you figured out, I'm talking about one state. I'm talking about Kansas. It's true. The cost of living in Kansas is getting out of control. Property taxes up in 86 out of our 105 counties are just projected to keep on going up. As I mentioned, the sales tax recently shot up, resulting in all of us paying more than we should for virtually everything that we buy, including food. College tuition is up at every single state university, right here in Emporia State. And I don't even want to get you started on what it's like to get a monthly utility bill. It got a little hotter today. Start thinking about that utility bill. Well, my wife and I have been there. We know what that's like. Property taxes, sales taxes, college tuition, utility rates just keep going up and up. Well, understand that growing up in Kansas, my parents were both teachers, taught me that we have certain responsibilities as Kansans. They taught me that we have to value hard work. They taught me that you got to treat people with dignity, with respect. They taught me that you got to love your neighbor. If you're like me, you take a lot of pride in being in Kansas. So these responsibilities are worth it. They are the time-honored true values that bind us together as Kansans. But I have to tell you, I have never seen a time when the cost of merely being a Kansan, living in Kansas, is as great as it is right now. Kansans are earning less, and they are paying more, including more in taxes, and we are not getting our money's worth from state government. But as I see the heads nod, I know that I don't need to tell you this. You know these costs. You've been bearing these costs. But there are three things about these costs that every Kansan needs to know. Number one, these costs have gone up dramatically since Sam Brownback became governor. Number two, the increase in these costs is a direct result of the policies and the agenda that Sam Brownback has pursued over the past 3.5 years. And number three, and most important, it does not even remotely have to be that way. We have an opportunity to get Kansas back on the right track. We are a state of deep traditions, a state of unique values. And among the greatest of these is that we as Kansans believe that we have a moral obligation to provide our children with the very best public education possible. I know this as the child of two teachers. I know this as the parent of a soon-to-be kindergartner. I know this moral commitment to education because it is part of our history. It's embedded in our Constitution. It runs in our blood as Kansans. But Sam Brownback sees things very differently. Within a week of taking his oath of office, Governor Brownback came to the legislature to deliver his very first State of the State message. And in that message, he made a statement. He said that public education is to Kansas what the national defense is to the federal government. When I heard that, I thought, I agree with him. He's right. Our public schools are that important to our state. But the very next day, Governor Brownback released his first state budget. And it contained the single largest cut to public school funding in state history. And just 4 months later, Governor Brownback got his wish. When he signed those cuts into law, he made another statement. He said it was a victory for Kansas. Think about that for just a second. Historic cuts to public education, a victory for Kansas. Well, it's only a victory if somehow winning means that our schools are weakened, our class sizes are larger, Our test scores went down in 2012 for the first time in a decade. And then they went down again last year. And if you're a parent in the school system, you now have to pay a fee for this, that, and everything, just to send your child to public school. Folks, this isn't winning. This is foolishness. I know that strong public schools are the very foundation of a stronger economy. You know this. Teachers know it. Parents know it. You bet that small business owners and CEOs know it. But what we need a governor that knows it. We need a governor whose policies will revere public education. We need a governor whose policies will reward hard work. We need a governor that is absolutely committed to rebuilding the middle class. And in order to make all of these things possible, we must have a governor that understands cooperation. Another true Kansas value. Neighbor helping neighbor. Kansan helping Kansan. Even when we sometimes disagree. Education. Hard work. Strong middle class. Cooperation. These are the things that we all share as Kansans, and they're exactly why I'm running for governor. Because like so many of you, I have become very concerned about the direction that our state has been going over the past 3.5 years. When education funding gets cut, the Kansas commitment to our children and our schools slips away. When property taxes, sales taxes, college tuition, utility rates keep going up, it's middle-class families, it's seniors, it's working folks that have to bear the burden. You know, it seems like the wealthy and the well-connected always get the breaks. When that's the case, it feels like our economy is broken. And then Topeka gets bogged down in partisan agendas and party labels when all we want them to do as Kansans is just to get things done. It's not who we are as a people. It's not true to our values as a state. And it's time for us to set things right. During my 12 years in the legislature, I have been a strong voice for public schools. I've been a strong voice for private sector job creation. I've been the kind of leader who is willing to sit down and listen and work with anyone, no matter what their party affiliation is. Because when it comes to our children and our schools, when it comes to rebuilding the middle class and creating jobs, party labels just shouldn't matter. When I'm governor, the only label that I want to wear is problem solver. So over the next 3.5 months, Jill Docking and I are taking this campaign to every corner of the state. And we've already been there, and we are going to keep going over and over again. And I am so fortunate to be able to have a tremendous running mate in Jill Docking. She served this state in many different capacities, chair of the Board of Regents, head of Kansas Cavalry, and she is incredibly passionate about the people of Kansas. And we have been well received everywhere that we have gone. And there is a growing coalition of Democrats, unaffiliated voters, and Republicans that are coming to this campaign. And that's why you've seen us ahead in 4 out of the 5 independent polls that have been taken. So we're looking forward to the next 3.5 months. We're looking forward to people getting to know us better, who we are and what we stand for. Because I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm the child of 2 teachers, I'm a moderate, I'm an independent thinker, I'm a common sense leader. And with your help, and the help of thousands of other Kansans, on November 4th, I can be elected our next governor. So we got a lot of work ahead of us. We're doing great. campaign of misinformation is coming. And it's going to be coming in a big way. It will be coming to your television, your radio, your mailbox. But a lot of people say to me, Paul, how are you going to overcome the big money? That's not what keeps me lying awake at night. It's usually Caroline. But, if you look over the past couple election cycles, big money hasn't done very well. It hasn't done very well when it's up against a well-organized, disciplined, efficient campaign operation. And that is exactly what we've got here. And so many of you have been part of this. And I can't thank you enough for laying the foundation for this campaign. A lot of people used to say, well, what we got to do is put ourselves in a position to win. Well, folks, we've done that. We're in a position to win. Now what we have to do is go out and win. And we can absolutely do it. But it's going to take everybody in this room rolling up your sleeves like you never have before. It's going to take you talking to your friends and your neighbors, folks you go to church with, your co-workers, about what is at stake in this election. It's going to take a lot of phone calls. It's going to take a lot of yard signs. It's going to take a lot of shoe leather, knocking on doors. So please do all that you can to help us. And all of you who've been manning the phones and knocking on the doors, I cannot thank you enough for what you have done and what you're going to continue to do. I had the opportunity a few months ago to spend some time with former Governor John Carlin. Probably several of you in this room have worked on his campaigns. And he said something to me that has stuck in my head. He said, Paul, I've been on the ballot many times here in Kansas, and those were important elections. They were important elections to me personally, and I thought they were important elections for the state. But I have to tell you, there has never been a more important election than this one, because the stakes are so high. We cannot let Sam Brownback's experiment go on for 4 more years. That's what's Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for all the work that you have done. Thank you for all the work that you're going to do. I'm looking forward to coming back here after this election and celebrating some great victories. Thank you so much.